Hi, today I walk you through Adobe Photoshop like a toddler, and I'm going to show you real-world example pictures until we are able to produce this. In many situations, you will find out that the photos that you are dealing with really need to be edited because it depends with who is bringing what. In some circumstances, your clients may not know that the pictures that they have to send you must, number one, be sent either via email or with an attachment of either Google Drive and other storage systems. So clients will randomly send you pictures via WhatsApp, and if you are to tell them to send via platforms like Google Drive and other storages, they are not familiar with those particular platforms, or they don't even know how to do that. So how are you going to deal with those kinds of pictures? This is exactly what you are going to do in this example until we are able to produce this kind of poster that you are seeing over here. Okay, so without further ado and wasting much of your time, let's get started in Adobe Photoshop as I walk you through like a child. Here I have opened my Adobe Photoshop. This is some of the pictures that we are going to use over here, and basically you can see that this picture is already edited. So I would like to create a new project and show you how exactly we are going to do it. So if you are to see this project, you can see that it is created. The file size is 2482 by 2482 pixels. Mind that, pixels. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file here, new file, new, and over here I'll just paste these numbers 2482 2482, because this we can say it's an album cover or it's a song cover. So it is going to be a square because it is going to be uploaded on different music platforms, for example Spotify. So you need to make it a square. Over here you just say create, and once it's created, this is what we have. And I would like then to import the image, and my images are under this project for this client, and yes, over here, and it's under these pictures. So I will just drag from my other screen into here. As you can see, this picture is totally different from the other picture that you have just seen. All right. All right. This is the edited one, and this is the unedited one. So what you want to do is to remove the background. Before I remove the background, I would like to first edit this image for it to pop up. All right. So what are we going to do? We are going to simply do it this way. Okay, let me first take this layer up over here like this. Okay, let me delete this. After deleting this, I drag this image I put here. All right, it's going on. So after dragging this image and putting over here, what I do with my Photoshop, I messed up some settings somewhere. So for me to be able to drag the picture so that it is not squashed together, I have to press Shift and drag it like this. If I don't do that, if I press Ctrl Z, and if I don't do that, it is what? It is actually squashing the image like this, as you can see. But if you have not messed up with your Photoshop, it will be able to simply drag evenly distributed without squashing your image, without holding any key. But for me, I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to do this. So I drag my picture, it is filled in my screen, and I would like to edit this image right now. So what I would like to do is to come under filter, and I would like to choose camera raw filter, because this is where we are going to edit our image. So what I'm going to do here is just to show you the basics of actually editing a picture to make it pop in Adobe Photoshop. So what I'm going to do right now is I would like to start with shifting the vibrance. I want the picture to have a little bit of a vibe. So I'm going to take this vibrance and I take it a little bit higher like this. And nothing is showing currently. And I would like to also take the D-hands and I take it a little bit like this. And from there, the clarity, I want the clarity to be a little bit pop up, because what happens is that this image has been losing quality when it has been sent through WhatsApp. And from there, I can take the texture a little bit, maybe to 3 over here. There is no rule that you have to leave it to number what and number what, but it's all about art. So it is all about how your eyes are satisfied by how you are working with a particular image. It's not like there is a rule that your image must look this way or that way. All right. So from there, I would like to increase the exposure over here just to up to here. And I take my contrast. I put my contrast over here, so you can see that we have got a beautiful lookup of this image. Like here there is light and here there is a little bit of shadows. All right, like a cinematic kind of. Okay, then from there, the whites, I think they to bring the whites down for now, because I can see that if I want to remove the background, I want it to be removed effectively. So I bring down the air, the white shadows, the shadows. I think it's just fine to bring them up like this, a little bit, yes, just like that, slightly like that. And from there, I would like to increase the saturation just a little bit, like this, up to 9. And if we are to see the before and after of this image, you will see that there is a huge difference. So from there, let me do this. Let me say, okay. And having saved our image, I want to compare the two images. So let's do this. I take this one and I roll it over. And from there, this is the before and this is the after. This is the before, this is the after. This is the before and this is the after. So this is what I want the image to be, and I can delete this one. So in many cases, sometimes there is need for you to duplicate your image or as you are working with it, because sometimes you can mess up. However, what we are going to do here in Photoshop, we are going to use what we call non-destructive workflow, whereby you are going to work with your image. You change what you want to change in your image, but at the same time, if you want to recover particular parts of your image, you can still do that. Why? Because we are working with a non-destructive workflow. So what I would like to do right now, I want to remove the background. There are many ways of removing a background in Adobe Photoshop, I tell you, but I want to show you one of the ways which are much, number one, simpler, and which are effective in terms of non-destructiveness, so that once you mess up somewhere, you'll be able to restore it. If I'm to show you, for example, this one, using the eraser to remove the background, I used to do this in my very first days of learning Photoshop. Okay, you come over here, you right click your image, you convert it to a layer, because you cannot remove the background once it is in form of a layer. So right now, to increase the size of your brush, you can just click on your keyboard the right square bracket. Let me be specific. If you press the right square bracket, you can see that the brush is becoming big. And if I do that like this, I'm removing background, yes. All right. Then I was following when I was beginning like this. then you can mess up like this. Once you mess up like this, it's either you press Control Z, you go backwards, but it's stressful, it's not effective. Okay, so what do you do? One, for you not to actually mess up your workflow like that, we are going to use masking to remove background in Adobe Photoshop. We want to first do this. If I am to come over here, you can see this thing over here. If you are not finding this panel, you can just come under Windows and you come to Properties. Once you click Properties, it should pop up over here. Then you can say remove background. We want to see the artificial intelligence of Photoshop. We want to see how far it is going to remove background for us. All right, it has done remove background. That was fairly good and that was fairly smart. However, we have these areas like over here. We need to remove this color over here within under the armpits, and over here, over at the chair here, you can see, and even the chair was actually taken out. All right, but we still want that to remain. So what do we do? Because this is destructive. Okay, let me show you another second way which you can do to remove background. We don't want to use the artificial intelligence in many cases. We want to do it with our own proper means. So you come over here at the top and you say select, you say subject. So Photoshop is going to automatically select the subject for you. And in this case, the subject is this person, the image of this person. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to play smart, and I'm going to show you the very effective ways, play with other tools, how you can best remove background in Photoshop. You can see that our image is selected. I'm going to press Alt on my keyboard and I roll on the mouse to zoom in so that the details will come out. All right. And from there, we want to move out of this eraser tool. We want to come over here. Photoshop has got too many tools, but for now, just follow these tools, because the tools that I'm going to show you right here, if you are able to master them, you are going to be able to create almost anything or manipulate almost anything in Photoshop. If you follow these tools, they are very much effective and I love them so much. So what you're going to do right now is, let me do this. If you hold and click, or if you right click, you can see that we have got this quick selection tool, or you can just press a shortcut W on your keyboard. Now we have this handle. So what you're going to do is, if you want to remove these selections inside over here, if you want to remove them to be actually outside over here, what you're going to do is you're going to move you are going to move your selection tool, your quick selection tool like this. You move outwards. But say for instance something is selected outside and you want that to be what to be to be deselected. Like for example, let me come and demonstrate from down here. You can see over here, right? We want it to select all from over here along the margins of the trousers. So what do? You press Alt. Once you are pressing Alt, you just hover over, move your brush over there. Then you see we have selected that part. Then another tactic. Okay, let me also do this one over here, but I'm not pressing Alt because I'm recovering the part which was selected, but we still need it. Then what do we do if we need an area, for example, like this one? We want to cut out nicely around this chair, around these edges of this chair, this balance where the feet is sitting. We want all those areas to be what to be covered up. We want them not to be what to be removed. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. We are going to select over here and we are going to do it like this one. Then we are going to use a particular tactic. So we are going to come inside here and we are going to take the polygonal, or it is called what? The polygonal what? Lasso tool, right? Or we're going to use, you can also use the Lasso tool over here. So from there, if you hold shift, get me right. If you hold shift, you can select only the inside. For example, over here, we want to remove this part. So I can select only the inside over here. If I hold shift, you see what is happening. Then I can draw along here like this. You see, good. We have selected that part. Then we move on to another area. We want to remove this area over here. We want to remove it. Okay, so you hold shift again. Remember, we are having the Lasso tool. Then you move slowly to select this part. Slowly to reselect this part. Select it. Wow. Okay, you see we have selected that part. All right. What else do we have and what else do we want to select in? Okay, over here you can see that maybe we want to advance to come all the way over here. So you can press again and you can join over here. You see, this is the magic of this Lasso tool. Over here we can do the same. We can do the same over here. We can do the same over here. I'm rushing now because you have already seen how we do it. Okay. Even here, you can just select these areas. Even here. This is how you do it. Simple. Okay. Is it simple? I hope so. I hope so. You do this even here as well. You select. All right. Here, you do the same. You do the same. Then what else do we need? Where else do we need to work on? We need to go down here. We need to go down here. Before I select over here, I need to do something. So I go back to the quick selection tool. And with my quick selection tool, I want to select these outside parts of the chair. I want it to come over here. Remember over here, when I do this, I'm not pressing Alt. Don't press Alt over here. You're doing this. So you can just play with any image that you have. Just look for any image which you assume is complex or quite complicated, and just follow along. And over here, we also want to select this chair like this. Yes. Want to select this chair like this over here, because we are going to work our way out. Okay. Then over here, I press Alt here because this area needs to be removed. Okay, I press Alt here. If sometimes it's stubborn, take your time. All right. So right now you can see what we have right now here. Now I'm going to go back to what? To the Lasso tool here. You can press the shortcut L to get it. And now I can zoom in over here and I press the Alt key. I select over here. All right. And over here, I do the same. I select over here. These are the areas which I want to remove. All right. Even like here, I want to remove this area. You can just select carefully. walking along the waves. All right. Want to remove this area. Okay, can you see how efficient it is going? All right. Okay, do the same thing over here. These are advanced tactics of Photoshop, but I believe I'm showing you just like a toddler so that you won't get intimidated. And it's really easy and simple. Just take your time. All right. So we also want to remove this part over here. You can see. Select here. Press the Alt key. Move like this. All right. Now, if we are satisfied with our selection, what you are going to do over here at the guitar, I'm not going to actually bother much about removing anything. I'm not going to bother much, but over here there is a problem. So before I move on, I need to come back to the Lasso 2. Is it? I want to come back to the quick selection 2, and I can press the left square bracket to make my brush smaller, and I can press Alt, not Alt, I can actually come and remove this area. Is not actually it is not supposed to be selected. All right, because it will be cut out and it will mess up our image. So right now, this is what we have. Beautiful, beautiful. So what we are going to do right now is to press one button that is going to work like magic. And that button is called the mask tool. If you hover over here, it is saying add layer mask. If I just click this mask tool like this, voila. Can you see what we have now? Let me just put up a background and you're going to see how it looks. Let me put, what color can I put? I want to put a blue background. I don't know why I love blue so much. Can you see what we have? Wonderful, wonderful. Once you are going to start creating our poster and playing around all those things, you are going to see that it is going to be effective and clean. Don't worry about some of the appearances that are happening over there. So right now, what we are going to do is we are having this design. The finished design of it is, let me show you the finished design of this thing. All right. This is the finished design, okay? So right now we are done with the image. We are done with manipulating the image, removing the background. So we are ready to move on to try to begin to play around with what we are having over here. So what you're going to do now is I'm going to take all these images from here. So the first thing that I want to play with, let me actually close out all these layers that I'm having. Let me close out all these layers that I'm having. All right, and here we just have this background. So I want to first play with this background, which is actually the background that I chose here. I just used what you call, these are advanced tactics, but I want to show you so that you see, you begin to get up and running from this tutorial and begin towards to create what you want. So what you are going to do here under this area, we are going to use, just don't bother about other tools. Just follow the tools that I'm showing you over here. We want to create what we call the gradient layer. So what I'm going to do, upon this blue background, highlight the blue background, and over here just click this icon. It is going to give you a pop-up and it's saying gradient, and we want to put we want to put a gradient layer. So click over here. So with your gradient layer, they should pop up something like this. And from there, you should click inside. Once you click inside, they must pop up something like this. And as you can see over here from this image, let me just bring up this image from my other window so that from my other screen. Yes. So with this background, we have two colors. At the bottom, we have got at the bottom we have got these dark colors, and at the top we have got these dark colors, and at the bottom we have got these kind of orange colors. This is what we want to do. So I come over here, I say create a I come over here, create a new view or adjustment layer. Then I choose gradient layer and I click inside over there, and let's just choose anything. So for example, we have got all these different pre-made gradients that are available here, but this is not what we want to choose. We just want to choose any of them, but we're going to put the colors that we want. So I said at the bottom we have got some orange kind of colors, which is these ones. Okay, this is the bottom, this is and at the top we've got some dark colors over here. So let's start with the bottom, and once from there you click this icon over here and you click inside the color. Once you click inside the color, you are able now to just click over here to select the color that you want. So I come down here because our color is appearing to be kind of like orange, and I choose from here. Then this is what we have, but it has to be a little bit deeper orange. All right, whatever. All right, I think we are here, we are fine. And over here at the top, we want to take the darkish colors. So I can just choose on the blues, and it has to be the dark blues, something like this or so. There we go, we are now. Can you see what we have brought? So this poster took me a long while to design because I was doing a lot of kind of like some manipulations that I was doing. So right now from here we have our background. That's good, and we want to move to another level, to another stage, and we want to put this background. So this background is easy. Just find an image which kind of like look like this from the internet and just paste it over there. So I would originally it was just like this, but the way I did is I wanted it to be just like a different kind of like a setup. These lines that you are seeing over here, to me, they create a little bit a kind of like depth, like this person is sitting in a musical studio on a stage playing his instrument. You get the sense? So this is what I actually was visualizing or imagining. So what I decided is I decided to take it this direction a little bit towards like it's towards the walls. Then I press Control T, because the reason for pressing Control T is because you want this pop-up to come so that you are able to do what you call transform your image. Then I'm dragging to this side just like this, but I want it to go a little bit more to the walls. And even this one, I drag this part as well. Once your image, sometimes Photoshop drags and the part of your image is hidden, you can simply press the space bar. While at least you're holding the space bar, you see that there is a hand coming out, and you can drag your image back to the view. All right. Now then, what I would like to do is select my image, transform and finish, select my image, and I press T, Control T to transform it as well. I want my image to be a little bit up like this. All right, I think we are fine, just fine. Now I want to take something else. You can see that from the original poster over here, we have a microphone. So now we want to take a microphone and put a microphone. All right, so what we're going to do is I did something to the microphone. I did something very strange to the microphone. And I'm going to just show you some of the bits and pieces of what I did to it. As you can see from here, you can see that this microphone has been connected, going down. It has a long stand, but originally the microphone was simply like this. Let me do this. Let me delete this and I want to copy this and I will paste it in here and paste it in here. All right, so originally this is how the microphone looks like originally. Let me just do Control Z here. Let me just delete it from there. Yeah. All right. By the way, I did not save my work. Let me save my work right away because anything can happen. I can simply name it this Photoshop 1 2023 because I think this is my first tutorial for 2023. All right, from there now. So you see that this is how the microphone came and this is how it looks like. So we want to also mask it the same way we did with our person over there. So what I did with this, I also did select the subject, and after selecting the subject, we want to accurately mask out. All right, I think everything is fine. It's only this part that we want to deal with, you see over here. So remember, we come to the Lasso tool and we press Alt and I zoom in because I want to be sure. Then just move around. It's not quite accurate. So I can repeat. Can you see the magic of Photoshop? I can say Control Z, yeah, because that was not accurate. Then I can repeat like this. All right, I think we are there. That's it. All right, then we come, remember, to the select layer mask, add layer mask. I add layer mask. We are done and dusted. So now I want to also do some further duplications. So right now you can see that there is something tricky that has happened. Let me do this and let me actually move this and so that you can see clearly. If I'm to change my background over here to be what? To be white. To fill the background with white, you can come over here under these things and you can see that this, we have got two things over here. We have got the top color over here, which is kind of like purplish. I will make it white. All right. And we have got another color here at the bottom, which is blue. And I would like to make it what? Black. All right. The reason I'm doing this is because there is something that you have to always know in Photoshop, and this is exactly what we are about to do. When we masked out this microphone, remember there is something that it left over here which was not removed, and we want to remove that thing, but we are going to do it by restoring using the brush tool or by removing using the brush tool. So at least I'm selecting this black part of the layer mask because when we removed our background there, this is what I was referring to as non-destructive workflow. So what Photoshop did is it removed the background, but it did not destroy our image. So once we want to restore something, or we want something to be what? To be deleted that has been actually left in the image, you press on the dark part of the layer mask, not over here on the picture. Be careful over there. We press the dark part of the layer mask. Then the shortcut, you press B for brush on your keyboard, or you can just come over here, you right click, you choose the brush tool. All right, once you press the brush tool, and if I'm to hover over like this, you can see I am deleting what was over there. So easy, isn't it? Then say for instance over here, there is the part of the microphone that has been deleted, but we want to restore it. What do we do? Remember to make the brush small, left bracket. Okay, my brush is small right now. Then if I'm to come here to brush this part, I cannot brush it. I am even deleting my microphone, of which I still need it. So what do? We press X on our keyboard to move between black and white. Remember, if you want to try to use your brush to brush out something, if your background, if this icon has instead of white, and if it has red instead of white, and you try to brush, you are not actually going to do that effectively in some instances. In some instances, it's not going to be effective. So if you want to remove using the brush, you must make sure that one part is white completely, and the white is the one that is going to rub, and the black is the one that is going to restore. So if I press shift on my keyboard, I'm exchanging between black, white, black, white, black. So right now I am pressing black because I want to rub through I want to restore something over here. As you can see, I can easily restore this. But say for instance, during my restoration, I have made a mistake and I restored what I don't want to restore. I just press X again and I have white, and I can remove. You see, over here, I can remove these parts. Simple. So this is one of the advanced tactics that you have to learn in Photoshop, and it's that simple. Right now we want to play with our microphone. So to deal with our microphone, what we are going to do is we want it to have a stand, but the stand that we are having here is very short. What do? Somebody could propose maybe that we need to make the microphone what? We need to transform it and make it big. Is it going to work? It won't work. Let's do it. So I take this microphone. I try to make it big and big and big. The microphone will become too big. The microphone will become too big. We don't want that to happen. All right. So I'm going to show you a tactic which you are going to do, which you are going to use over here. I pressed Ctrl Z to come back, okay? So you just press Ctrl Z. So we want the microphone to be closer to the person's mouth, just something like this, all right? Just something like this. And from there, I would like to duplicate this layer with the microphone. So what I'm going to do is I press Ctrl J to duplicate. So now I have two layers of this microphone. You see, I have two microphones, but I don't want the microphone over here. What I want is this stand of the microphone. So what I'm going to do is to zoom in, and right now I press on the image. I press on the image. While I'm pressing on the image, I am going to do this. Or I guess, yeah, I want to cut it out. I want to cut it out. So while it's pressing on the image, I'm going to choose this tool. This tool is called rectangular marquee tool. All right, rectangular marquee. Then I can zoom in and I come over here. I make sure that I'm careful to select where at the margins too, from margin to margin, and from margin to margin I can drag down like this. All right, once we are like this, we are done. Then you press Ctrl X. If you don't want to press Ctrl X, you can simply press Ctrl J again. So we have got two layers. Can you see? The layer that we have, the first one, is this one with the microphone. But when we press the Ctrl J, we have an automatic layer that has generated with only the stand. So what we are going to do is we delete this one. Delete it. We are done. So now we want to take this one underneath, because to come back to the selection tool, you can press over here the selection tool, or you press V on your keyboard. All right, then from there I put it underneath over here. Then I want to begin to do a smart workflow right now. I want to begin to group my things, because sometimes our layers are going to begin to be many layers over here. So we are going to begin to play around and change things. Right now we have something like this. This is where we are. So I want to select this one. Okay, we have something like this. This is what we have. And I want to select these two layers, and I press Ctrl G to put them in a group. So they are in a group right now. Then I can just double click over here on the letter G. Sometimes if you double click, it will take you to blending modes, but don't worry. I want to say, what's happening? For some reasons, I think because we started with that artboard, so it's giving some problems, like it doesn't want to group this one. But let me come over here and group these two. Ctrl G. You see, still we are not having a group. Okay, let me right click and say, do I have the option to group layers? Then I say mic. Okay, yeah, I don't know what is happening over here, but I think over yours it should work if you just click highlight two layers and say Ctrl G. You are able to group them. So from there, let me just select this layer, this microphone. Then I select this stand, I take it, I put it over here. Then what I do is I want to zoom in extensively, so that I am sure that I am able to nudge over here. All right, so we now have two layers. Let me hide the first one because I duplicated it. All right, so I want to zoom like this. If I press the up arrow key on my keyboard, I'm able to take it upwards. Then if I press the arrow to my right, I'm able to adjust the right and left. You can see it's not quite bad. It's not quite bad. We are almost there. All right. It's only that the colors are a little bit slightly different there. But what you can do if you want them to be merged together, you can simply do this. You can simply mask this and rub it over there. But for now, I don't want to do that. I would like to duplicate this layer and continue to bring it down. So I Ctrl J, I duplicate it. And after duplicating it, I drag it down like this, and up arrow, I press Ctrl J again, I take it down until we are actually down something like this. All right, I take up again a little bit, then Ctrl J, Here we have this. Take it down. Take it down like that. Then last one, I think. Control J. Sorry, I played the set a key. Control J. All right. Now you see we have our microphone stand. So what I can do over here, maybe in the future, maybe I am satisfied with this. So what I can do for me not to have too many layers, since my Photoshop is misbehaving, I can just right click and say merge layers. All right. Once I say merge layers, you can see that we have one long microphone leg over there. So that's it. Then from there, what we want to do now is to proceed on to put some other effects. For example, you can see that we have got things like these ones. We have got things like this background over here. So let me take it and put it over here. This is the background that we are having over here. And right now I want to put it behind the person, and this background, all right, this is exactly how it looks like. All right, so we want to put it above the person. We want to put it above the person and above the microphone. Yeah, just this way. This is where we have it. So this is what it looks like, but we want this one to go down just like that. And from there we want to mask out and feather out, delete, just use the brush tool to work around these areas. So what you're going to do right now is to come under add layer mask over here, then press B for the brush, a square bracket, right square bracket to increase our brush. Okay, then with the brush tool you can simply do this. You can simply do something like this. If you feel like maybe your brush has erased a bigger space, press X and you are converting or switching between black and white over here to restore. All right, then I can rub smartly over here, then I can come back, press X. I want to restore this over here like that. All right, so this is what we have right now. Then we come back and we want to take another layer. The other layer that we have is this effect, and from there we copy it and edit copy. I paste it over here. So this is the effect that we are having. So I just want it to be something like this. Yeah, but before I do that, I want to show you the power of what we call blend modes in Photoshop for you to be able to have effects in your designs. Because as you can see from this one, we don't want these bubbles kinds of to be too much visible. So what I did with this one, I used some blending modes. So if I'm to click the image like this and I come here under normal, and we have a lot of options that you can play with. If you just press your down arrow key on your keyboard, you are just going to play around all these things and play over them and see what suits you best. But for me, for now, I want to play with this one, the overlay. The overlay is what I want right now. Yeah, so I take the overlay blending mode, and from there I need to put up this one just for some effects, and you can also see that it has some blending modes of screen applied onto it. If it is normal, it is just like this. You can see This is how this image appears. This is how this image appears. But we don't want all these blacks to be on top, and you cannot, it is difficult to remove the background for you to be left with these flecks over here. But if you just come under blending modes and you play around, maybe you choose what you think can be good overlay. Does it work over here? But the screen blending mode is working effectively. It's like as he's playing his music, the people in the theater are tossing some celebratory gold bazaar, or maybe it's a gold bazaar being blown, whatever is for celebrating. Can you see what is happening there? So it's because it's all about telling a story when you're doing your designs, you see. So that's it. So from there, let's come back and let's talk about the other effect over here. Is just the same thing, but I just want to copy and paste it because the order it is actually arranged in that order that I want. And you can see that I applied a blending mode of what? I applied a blending mode of screen on this one as well. But let me delete it because I want to show you something. This one, because it is this side to my to the right, so we want two of that one. So what I can simply do is to say Control J to duplicate it, and then I say Control T. Once I press Control T, I am in the transformation mode. Then I can right click and I say flip horizontal. Once I say flip horizontal, you can see that it has come to this side over here. Then I can simply say okay, or I can just hit enter. Then from this image right now, we also want to mask it out because we want to actually play around with this one. But for now, let me leave it because it's going to be hidden by the effects that we are going to add up. So let me continue over here. What other effect did I add? I had to add this other effect over here. All right. And what is this effect? I used, it's a gradient. It's a gradient tool which I used here. So let me show you how I did it. All right. So we want that gradient tool to be just covering over here, but it should be underneath these layers. All right. It should be underneath these layers, these two. All right, as it is, you can see from here. All right, so what you're going to do is we are going to select this layer and create a new layer. Put it under here. All right, then from there we are going to work with this tool. We are going to work with this tool. You remember it, rectangular Marquee tool. Then from there, we are going to select the gradient icon, the gradient tool over here. If I right click, you can see it's gradient. So you can press Ctrl G as your shortcut. And from there, if I'm to come over here, at the top here, you can see that you can choose the color. So if I am here, I can click over here. And we want the other side to be bluish and the other side to be empty, transparent. All right, and I click OK. So the side which is going to be transparent is going to be above over here, and the side that is going to be heavy color is going to be at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do here is going to, with the rectangular Marquee tool, I'm going to hover over here like this. Just try to come out from corner to corner, something like this. All right. I want to go a little bit up, I think. Yeah, somewhere like here. Yeah. Then I come all the way down. Right. Then we come to the gradient tool. With our gradient tool, we have already selected our color. Then I come from the bottom over here. After selecting my gradient tool, I press upwards just like this. All right. Can you see what's beginning to happen? Then I do again. We are filling with color. Can you see what is happening? We are filling with color. And we are closing this image which is showing in the background over here. You see, I continue until I am satisfied. Can you see what's happening? Voila, voila. So can you see the effect that we have right now? Then I can press the rectangular marquee, I click over here, and this is what we have. So we don't want this strong thick line to be over here. We want our gradient to be just evenly distributed, showing us all these slightly cool background. So what you're going to do is we want to mask out that background. All right, so what I can do is come to the layer mask over here. I choose the B for the brush, and I can simply do this. I can simply rub here at the top. Simply rub here at the top. Okay, if you feel like it has deleted too much, you can restore it and make your brush smaller. So, then, yes, something like this. So this is what we have. This is what we have right now. All right. So if we are to proceed on, we are almost there. We are almost there. And I don't mind this tutorial being long because I want you to learn these things. So next, what we have over here is I had to use this effect, this image as well, and I applied an overlay gradient, and this image is above this background image which we used as kind of like a theater. But then from there I paste this image over there, and I would like to do this. I want to take it to normal, and from there I want to close all these images. So to close all these images, you just press the eye icon so that they are not revealed. All right, that eye icon is very significant in Photoshop. It is able to allow you to see what's going on. So this image now, we are going to put it over here. So as you can see, we have this background that I actually took from somewhere. But the issue here is it had an overlay effect applied, but at the same time it has transparency reduced over here. This is the transparent effect. So I have restored the transparent, and this is how the image looks like. So I think it will be cool for it to be flowy, like let me just put it above this person, because it will be just flowy, like it's smokish coming out. We can even put it above our microphone. But somebody would say, oh, we're no longer seeing anything over there. So we come over here, we apply the overlay. All right. If I am to apply the overlay here, because I'm just thinking of changing the design to look like something, so it is not gonna work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask out this image, mask it out. And after masking it out, I'm going to press the B, the brush, just delete these things, just erase these things. I want, like, maybe I want to try to put what may look like a smoke effect. Okay, rub all this, simple as that. All right, so now let's restore all these ones. All right, and this one, for it to work as a smoke effect, I think it should come over here. Let's try to apply some gradient effects and see if we are going to win. All right, so you can see over here, it appears on the screen mode, it appears like we have something like some smoke even over here on the lighten mode, and we can come down to overlay. Does it work over here? So wow, exclusive. I think exclusive really works like it's smoke. Okay, so I want to come to the exclusive mode and I want to duplicate it. Control J, Control T to transform it. Right click, and we have something like this. All right, so this is what we have, and right now we have got this thick line. We don't want it, so it is being caused by this thing over here. All right, so what we're going to do is to brush it down and let's make my brush smaller, but I don't want it to be rubbed clearly. I want it to have a very little effect, like it's like a natural transformation from here to here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and flow over here at the top and make it up to maybe 34 or 40% over there and try to rub. Yes, that's it. But at the same time, look at this image in the background. Look at this line is beginning to appear over there. So we're going to click this image, we add a layer mask, and we're going to delete it. You see, we are removing that thick line that was appearing in the background. And this is what we have. This is what we have. All right. So right now, I think we are done. I think we are done. However, we did something, because when I look at this image, all right, I need to do something. I need to increase kind of like some vibrance. So this smoke layer effect that we have at the top, I also still want it, but I want to remove the layer mask. Yes, and I want to put it to normal. And I'm going to place it down here below the person. And right now I'm going to apply an overlay. I'm going to apply an overlay effect. Now can you see how it is looking like? All right, this is what I did over there, but it's too much. So this is where I would reduce the opacity to something like, you see, if I reduce completely, it's clean, but I want to reduce the opacity to something like 36, 40, somewhere there, according to your preferences. Now look over here. It's now looking cool, like, hey, this is the journey that you have walked so far, and it's really looking amazing. So that's how you basically play around in Photoshop, and you can see that you have used a lot of tools. Not a lot, very few tools, because as you can see, Photoshop has got so many tools, but we only used the selection tool, the rectangular marquee tool, the lasso tool, the quick selection tool, the brush, and the gradient tool, and we also used what other tool? I don't know, but I think you're going to make a review of that, and you can see that we have these layers and we manage to manipulate our image to this far, and that's amazing. So let's now come to the last things that I did. I had to put the logo. I have to place this logo here, so I just highlight this logo, edit, copy, and I say edit, paste, and this is the logo. Control T, and I place the logo over here, and here what do we have? We have this title. We have this title, and the name of the artist over here, it's written over here. So I want to highlight all these things. I just press Control T. I just press Control and I select this. All right, and this one as well, and I say copy, and I say paste over here. So it's a matter of just arranging them right now. I'm just going to tell you which fonts I used. All right. So this is what we have here. It's slightly different from the first one, because in the first one I did something like here. I did not allow the smoke effect. I did not put that one, but I feel like the smoke effect is really good over here. So over here, the text, I deliberately put this text this way so that it will like align with the microphone, just like this. I did this just deliberately, and I don't know, but to me it's part of creativity. Then I take my logo, I align my logo with this T, all right, with this top text over there. And the font that I used over here, if I'm to double click and press Ctrl T, the font that I used is the Montolivo font, all right. And let me know in the comment section if you want these fonts, because I have a lot of amazing fonts. Let me show you. If you have watched the video this far, I think you put it in the comment and that you want these fonts, and I will be able to give you. Let me open and show you the amazing fonts that I have. If I'm to come under image previews over here, you will see over here I have got these beautiful fonts, lots of these beautiful fonts. Let me hear in the comment section if you need them, and I can actually give them for free. Yes, I'm saying I can give them for free. Just comment, just leave a comment in the section. I can give out these beautiful fonts for free. Okay, these are the fonts, wonderful fonts. All right, then from there, this is the font that I used over here. And over here, I just thought of using an elegant, smart font. And this one is called Aerotis font. And I had to place it over there. And here we have this one, the coming soon. The coming soon is a delighting font. Wow! If you have gotten this far, you are a champion, and I believe you have learned a lot from this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and if you want those fonts, as I have just said, comment in the section below and I'm going to give them absolutely for free. And there are a lot of them for your own information, and they are beautiful. So from there, this is what we have right now on our screen. Oh, I had forgotten something. I had to arrange this text over here just like this, and I deliberately had to make it stand out this way because along these margins, along these lines, because I just wanted to make it feel like it's on that wall over there, you see. So this logo has to come down here. This logo has to come down here. Yes, it has to come down here, and this one has to come a little bit down, so I can press the down arrow key to nudge it down. And look, Yeah, yeah, there you go. This is what you have. So is there a difference from the original one, which is this one? This is the original one, the first one, and this is what you have produced. Any difference? Wow, okay. Thank you very much. And let's get going.